y'all, as a follow-up video to that long ramble I did about Livestock Guardian Dogs the other day, I thought I would do a follow-up and explain to y'all some of the reasons why our male Livestock Guardian Dog, who is beautiful and who has served our farm very well, and he comes from wonderful registered working lines, and he was very carefully selected. And then he had the further advantage in life. Let me see if I can reposition this ever so slightly, because buddy, you got that right in your, yeah, sorry, we're gonna have to just put that up with that. Anyway, he also further had the advantage of being mentored and trained by the best, the absolute best Livestock Guardian Dog I have ever personally owned, who is a legend, legendary in his performance. So he was trained by the best, and he has excellent genetics behind him, and yet he has very nearly flunked out sorry, I just got a message about 2 Great Pyrenees missing, and if they're mine, no, they're not mine. Nope, not mine. But he is nearly flunked out of being worthy of being called a working Livestock Guardian Dog. And I wanted to talk about why that is. He, even to this day, despite all the training he's had, he would prefer, if he could choose his path in life, he would prefer to be a porch, if not house dog. That is what he would prefer. He is a little bit on the cowardly spectrum as Livestock Guardian Dogs go. There's a reason I would never breed him. Sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm saying all this crap about you. One of the reasons I would never breed him, and why I would not want any puppies from his line, and I can say this because I'm not a breeder, and there are breeders who would breed him just because of his paperwork and his conformation. But the reason I would not is because he has, like I said, he's a little bit, he's still capable of working, but he's a little bit on the cowardly side of things. His work ethic is on the lower performance side of things. He's and his Achilles heel, again, buddy, cover your ears. His Achilles heel is loud noises. If it is thundering, or if neighbors are shooting or target shooting, or if there are any loud booming noises, he is completely incapacitated. He is no longer able to perform his duties. And, especially in a situation where if you have only one Livestock Guardian Dog, that's it. That's game over. You cannot keep your entire farm safe with every time there's loud booming noises, which happens in thunderstorms, if they cannot perform their duties. So originally he was good because he was working under and being mentored and trained by one of the best, most solid Livestock Guardian Dogs I've ever encountered in my entire life of owning them and being around them. And later he had Luna training and coming up along behind. Now Luna is in fact the best of the best. She's right up there. She's got a very serious work ethic. There's nothing that will prevent her from performing her duties. She is extremely loyal to her job, and she's also viciously, there is absolutely nothing that she's going to back down from. She will take on anything and probably succeed. So the reason that Odin hasn't flunked on our farm is because he's had Luna as his backup, and he's a little bit of a cowardly lion in the sense that he won't necessarily fight for himself or his stock per se. I mean, he'll back him up somewhat, but he's not that motivated. He is, however, extremely loyal to his humans and extremely loyal to Luna. So if Luna gets in trouble, or if she signals that there's a problem, he's going to back her up 10,000%. Turns out she is his courage, and she is his anchor. And so when partnered with a dog of stellar performance like Luna, sorry, we're starting our spring shed and defluffing, and I'm going to be covered in white hair for the next 2 months. That's just how it goes. He's actually an asset to our farm. Now, that being said, we already know if there's a problem, Odin's going to be behind with the stock. He's not going to push the front lines. We know if it's lightning and thundering, Luna's got no backup. He's going to be hiding in his safe places. He's not going to be out there with her. That's just what we know. And so I would never, ever rely on him as the only livestock guardian dog. And I would never breed him because of those flaws. However, he has done immeasurable good on our farm. He's very good at maintaining borders. He's very bark reactive. He is aerial. He monitors the sky extremely well. Luna does as well, but Odin is always the first of our 2 dogs right now to warn if there's a sky predator. So he has these amazing attributes. He's also deeply intuitive. He's amazing. He's the first one to tell me if an animal's sick or if something's wrong. In our recent calving, he tried to tell me something was wrong with that calving, and it took me another 2 hours to figure out that something was wrong. And he was behaving in a way of letting me know there was a problem, because he is a very sensitive soul and he's very in tune to those things. So despite the fact that he does not receive a 10 out of 10 performance review as a livestock guardian dog, he's still a tremendous asset to our farm, and he's very loved. He is also instinctively, just instantly, so gentle and so protective of young human children. I feel as though I could drop a baby into his field or anywhere with him, and he would die for that human baby. That's just how he's kind of wired. Like he's just got his own algorithm. And that is one of the things about livestock guardian dogs that I think people miss about them, is because they are so highly intelligent and because they independently prioritize and problem solve, you can only train so much into them, and you can only, and then a lot of it is instincts, and how their instincts and their problem solving inform how they interface with the world. Odin just has his own algorithm of what is most important, and he prioritizes accordingly. And he's just a big, beautiful, gorgeous baby. It honestly, it kind of made me sad. He's not that I never felt as though we could ever put him up for stud, because it's hard to tell in the video footage that you have of him right now, but he is conformationally and structurally just an incredible dog. He's the kind of dog that you want his physique being passed down, but I would also require, a 10 out of 10 temperament and performance review out of him before I would want to breed him. So, he's not going to be, there's not going to be any puppies or grand puppies from Odin ever. And there might be one day I might have a working dog one day that I would be willing to, and so far I've invested in registered lines that, it's a possibility, but it's not a priority. My criteria is so, I guess, rigid or strict that I'm just not going to get into that unless I feel very strongly that these are genetics that need to be passed down, or I have the right structure and infrastructure for it, and I can do it right. So that's not the priority for us right now. So Odin, one day, we plan on getting another livestock guardian dog to train up, probably as a puppy, for Luna and Odin to train up. And once that dog reaches maturity, Odin will probably be around 7, 8-ish years old at that point in time. And we're going to retire him to that house dog, porch dog that he really instinctively kind of wants to be even now. His heart is with humans, not as much his stock. And so that's where he will be able to retire to. And there are dogs that you can't retire them. There are working dogs where you cannot retire them to the house, because my dog Thor, the one that I referred to as a legend, he was one I could never get him to leave his work and come live on my porch or come into my house and live in his very old age. That was very stressful to him. He lived and breathed to work. That was his number one purpose in life, his highest calling. And to separate him from that would have He lived to a very, very old age for just incredibly old age. We were blessed with the time we had with him, and a lot of it was because he was allowed to do what he needed to do, what his body told him to do, and who he was. Odin, on the other hand, Odin is going to be celebrating. When it's time to retire from work, he's going to be like, yes, I've made it. I get to finally be the couch potato and the, buddy, how did you get so tangled right there? I'll have to work this out. Anyway, he will be able to fulfill the destiny that he's always felt like he should be, which is just a very spoiled, rotten couch potato. But we're grateful for what he does for us and our farm in the meantime. And Luna is probably going to be one of those. What you see? Do you see? See, like right now, he's keeping an eye on the sky. He saw something way off in the distance. It's such a small speck in the sky. I can barely see it with my naked eye. But he's keeping an eye on it. If it comes closer, you're going to see him erupt into barking and go after it. So he is, like I said, one of his strengths as a livestock guardian dog is his awareness of aerial predators. And we do love that about this boy because we have chickens that he keeps safe. So anyway, that's just some more information about just the framework of how to think about these dogs and how to rate them as their qualities. Anyway, hope you enjoyed and that you have a great day. All right, Odin, you want to say bye to the people? Sorry, he's busy.